So tonight we are going to be learning the law of attraction and intuition. Because to be honest, when it comes to utilizing the law of attraction in a very beneficial way and making things happen for yourself, you really have to go with your gut a lot of the times. You have to really go with those vibrations that you are feeling. You really have to go with that insight that just popped into your mind. And I will tell you, a definition of intuition really is knowing something without having to have a conscious evidence of it, or knowing something without having to have, what's the word I'm looking for? Goddess Isis, could you define intuition for me real fast?
Um, Intuition is the knowing without knowing how to know. And where you were going, I was thinking believing in it. So having faith in the unseen, the unknown.
Hmm.
Because you know what I always say, Jamad, intuition, um, we need that, but to make the law of attraction work, what do I always say? It starts simultaneously between the mind and the heart. So you can say affirmations all day, but if you don't believe it, if you don't feel it, because we are vibrational beings, we're giving off that vibration before the spoken word. We're giving off the vibration of whether we really believe it or not, and that's what the universe picks up.
Thank you, Goddess. And actually, you know what? On one of the topics or points that I'm making today, I stole your phrase. Everything starts at the heart. So that will be
Exactly.
coming up today. I'm so glad you're here. That was an intuitive impulse for me to send you that messaging. I'm
Yes,
so
honey.
glad you came.
You know I'm here for you. Mhm.
Oh, thank you so much. So I love to start each class or anything that I do with a Jamaadism. And if you're not aware of what a Jamaadism is, Jamaadisms are really how I live my life. Okay? Jamaadisms are how I live my life. So Jamaadism number 131 is when you're in a situation and you don't know what to do nothing, be still for a moment. Okay? So when you don't know what to do, well, when you're in a situation and you don't know what to do nothing, be still for a moment. And the reason why that Jamaism is so important, and I actually felt like I had saw it in the movie. It was a woman, she said, a wise woman once told her, when you don't know what to do, it's best to do nothing. But I added to that, be still for a moment, is because when you're in a situation and you're so in the situation, it's really hard for you to get that insight that you need. It's really hard for you to follow your intuitive guidance. It's really hard for you to listen to know how to make your next move. Because to be honest, you really can't find solutions in the situation. You only find solutions out of the situation. So in that moment that you take a moment and you breathe, you give yourself the space to remove yourself out of the situation, remove yourself out of the stress, to remove yourself out of the worry, to allow the solutions to pour in. And
Can
we'll
I
talk,
add to that, Jamad?
of course.
Sorry, but I heard years ago, and this resonated and stayed with me, the understanding prayer and whoever your higher source is that you pray to, prayer is the asking, but meditation, the being still, is the point where we receive the answers. So, yes, you have to be still and go into meditation to hear.
Thank you. I'm glad you know what I'm gonna change it to. Be still for a moment and meditate. Okay. So
Okay.
you're the best goddess. So that's why tonight, and I love that Jamaadism because a lot of the times, a lot of people think that I know everything, and I don't. I really don't. But I'm really adapt to taking a moment to think and reflect and receive answers. And just as God has called it meditation, I believe I saw a video within the last year. It was a monk teaching about meditation. And he explained that meditation could be as simple as being still and taking one breath. Okay, taking one breath. The meditation can be as long as you need it to be. But in the stillness of just taking that one breath, you could receive so much more insight. So
Jamad.
That, go on.
That's Jamadism 131. Make it into a sentence for me. What's the significance behind the numbers?
Oh,
You know, I just had to mess with you.
so let me tell y'all something about Goddess Isis. So Goddess Isis is one of my dear friends and spiritual teachers, and she's really big on something called angel numbers. Okay, she's really, really big on angel numbers. And to be honest, Goddess, I have never given any thought to the numberings of the
Right.
Jamaisms at all.
It made me think about it because you said that one was really significant to you, and it's number 131. So just quickly, and I'm not trying to distract, but the threes mean that you are being guided and assisted by ascended masters and teachers, and the ones mean that you have to be positive and be conscious of what you're thinking because it's manifesting very fast for you. A portal of energy has opened up. So maybe that's why it feels so significant for you. But I'm done.
Okay, see, okay, so that's what I'm saying. Goddess Isis is like the queen of. Okay, so in all honesty, angel numbers play a strong part in intuition too. So I'm glad she brought that up. So there was a moment, like if I would get y'all, anybody eat Chinese or Asian
Oh,
cuisine,
yes.
and they give you like the fortune cookies?
Mm-hmm.
Like I would look at the fortune cookies and try to make sentences based out of the angel numbers because I would be like, okay, goddess, what is this fortune cookie really trying to tell me? Because they have like the little lottery numbers on the back.
Yes.
So she'd be like, okay, make a sentence out of it. And I really got really good at that. I stopped eating Chinese as much. So I'm gonna start
But
getting
that's
back to
part of
that.
the intuition part, being in tune with the way messages come through, because we have in this human experience think that, okay, if I ask a question of the universe, that it should be revealed to me in one way. But symbolism plays a huge part in our intuition, and you need to be aware. That's why I always teach people to journal your own personal symbolism. What keeps reoccurring in your life? What I'm a retired nurse, so when I'm doing readings, a lot of times things will come through in medical terms. It's your spirit guides in the universe will communicate with you on a personal level where you can understand the messages. Because what sense does it make to get a message if you can't understand it?
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah,
Ain't
so
that
everybody
the
just
truth?
needs to start being aware of repeating signs and symbols. And angels, angel numbers is one of the big ways that they are known to communicate with us. And I'm no expert in it neither. Look, honey, go to whatever your app store is in your phone and download Doreen Virtue, Angel Numbers 101. You have any questions?
I got it too. I actually had that book on my phone. So
Yeah, because
that's really my
all you
go-to
need
for a lot of my
all you need
numbers.
is the sample book, because the numbers 0 through 9 give you the basic meaning, and you just kind of plug it in if it's repeating or in sequences that you keep seeing. So
Y'all better
that is
be.
part of intuition.
So I did forget to mention this before we got on the recording and before we started the class. These classes, these law of attraction classes, or any class that I teach, are very loaded with a lot of information. So if you don't come with a pen and some paper of any type with like a few pages at least, um, you want to catch the replay and then you want to write it down because you want to keep up with a lot of this rich stuff. And just for anybody who was wondering what that book was that Goddess was talking about, it's Angel Numbers 101 by Doreen Virtue. Okay. And I will say, she said, download the sample, but I'm telling you, it's really worth buying the book too. But listen, the sample is just as good, but then you gotta like really, you learn the numbers, I guess, a lot better because you start plugging them and using them for yourself. But anyway, let's move on. Thank you, Goddess. Goddess, you
You're
gone?
welcome.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I want to start this class with my top 5 things to know about your intuition. These are some things I really wanted to share with you. very quickly and briefly before we get to the class. So number one, your intuition is constantly working, just as the law of attraction is constantly working. I feel that your intuition never cuts off. It's just if you're aware of your intuitive guidance or you're not. So it's really about staying in awareness, okay? So your intuition is constantly working, just as the law of attraction is working. I mean, one, I know for sure you cannot turn the law of attraction off, ever. But two, if you feel that your intuition is off, it's just really about something that you're doing that is clouding your view or clouding your mental space, or really clouding your intuitive space to where you're not really staying in an awareness of it. Okay? So that's one. Your intuition is constantly working, just as the law of attraction is constantly working. Two, you can utilize the law of attraction so much more in a beneficial way when you use your intuitive guidance. You can utilize the law of attraction in so much of a better way, okay? In so much of a more beneficial way when you utilize your intuition, because when you ask, it's given. And I guess if the universe doesn't drop it right, on top of you, you're probably going to miss it if you're not using your intuition, because intuition plays a very major role in the law of attraction, because you're receiving information to guide you to your manifestations. You're receiving impulses that say, hey, turn left today. And then the next thing you know, you ride by a house that's for sale. And you're just like, okay, well, I've been looking for a house. Oh, look, I followed my impulse to turn left. Here's a house for sale. Let me get the information that I need. And either you'll buy that house, or from that moment that you followed your intuition, you will be guided directly to the house, because you followed your impulse, you felt it, it led you to something good. So you're going to pay attention more to following those types of impulses. Okay? So the law of attraction is more beneficial when you utilize your intuition and allow it to guide you to your manifestations. That's two. Number three, your intuition, or your intuitive skills, as some people may call it, grows stronger the more you use it. Intuition is like a muscle, okay? And the reason why I come off so smart to people, or I'm an old soul, or I'm so wise, is because I've really been very much so in tune with my intuition all my life. And I really never knew it. So it seems like once I became aware of my intuition, I skyrocketed like so far. It seems like I'm really quickly growing into like a master teacher. I'm really quickly growing into like a very skilled intuitive, just because I really followed those muscles, where I really became aware of those muscles and I used them constantly. And just for a little tidbit on that, and I'm gonna talk more about that later. Whenever something pops into my mind to say to somebody, I say it every time. I always say it. I don't doubt it. I don't hold it in. I don't hold it back. I do my best to say it, especially if it's just in normal conversation. And then either that person will say to me, like, how did you know that? I was just thinking about that. Or someone will say, oh, thank you so much for telling me that. I was really trying to figure it out. In that moment, I utilized my intuition to help somebody else, and that person confirmed that to me. And when they confirm that to me, that lets me know that, hey, this is right. I need to go with this feeling a lot more. I need to go with these thoughts a lot more. I need to follow my gut a lot more. I need to follow these types of feelings within my body a lot more, because they were right on the money and I was able to help somebody. So the more you utilize your intuition or your intuitive skills, they grow even stronger. So every day you should go into your intuitive gym. I'm telling you, because you want those muscles to become stronger, because the bigger they grow, the more you grow your intuitive muscles, the more you're able to utilize the law of attraction to reach your manifestation, right? Because we were just talking about that. The more you utilize your intuition, the easier it is to use the law of attraction. So the stronger your intuitive muscles, the better you get at it also. So number four, due to the law of attraction, your intuition is always correct and precise, okay? And due to law of attraction, your intuition cannot be wrong, because I think Goddess Isis has said it, and I've said it also. Like Goddess Isis said, prayer, is the asking, and meditation is the receiving. But that just goes to show that when you ask, it is given. Okay, so when you ask through your intuition or through prayer or through thoughts or through whatever is going on in your experiences, once you put that vibration out, you receive it. So you receive it correctly every time, no exceptions. You cannot get it wrong. When you follow your intuition, when you know how your intuitive skills work, you are going to be right every time. And even in the moment where you followed your intuition and you don't feel that you're right because you did not get the absolute outcome that you were thinking of, you will see, if not in a couple of days or a couple of weeks, that you were exactly right on the money. It just didn't reveal itself at that time. So there's no reason. I think God has said intuition takes a lot of faith and belief and believing. That's very true. Okay. So number 5. Well, number 4, I'm just going to repeat it because I did a lot of talking behind that. But due to the law of attraction, your intuition is always correct and precise. Number 5, the law of attraction is the absolute component of intuition. Okay, the law of attraction is the absolute component of intuition. Ask and it is given. Somewhat of what I was just saying, and that's what I'm saying. Intuition is very law of attraction based, because once you pretty much put out your first thought of the asking, that thought you receive next through your intuition comes to you because of the law of attraction. So let's say that Goddess Isis, she does readings. I do card readings as well. I'm sure quite a few people here do readings in their own way. Once we sit with the person, we're asking the divine, what does this person need to know? Due to the law of attraction and a couple other laws, maybe also the law of grace, due to the law of attraction, you receive that information for that person. Okay, you receive that information for yourself or whoever needs it at the time. You may need to do a reading for your pets. I don't know. But due to the law of attraction, you receive that information. You ask through the first thought, the second thought that you receive is due, and that's another thing. So the reason why the law of attraction is a big component of intuition, that's something that I do with clients, and I think Pooja can attest to this. But it's something I do with clients, and it's called a rampage. And when I say rampage, sometimes I'm doing a rampage of appreciation. Sometimes I'm doing a rampage to really empower someone. Sometimes I'm doing a rampage to really clear a block that someone has in their life. But the reason why rampages are so easy for me is because once I say the first statement, which may be, tonight I'm going to have the most powerful class on intuition, which, that's a bold statement, but I really believe in that statement, so I can use that. Tonight I'm going to have a powerful class on intuition. Then the second thought is going to roll in, because like attracts like. The law of attraction says like attracts like in so many words. Okay, so since that thought came, I'm going to attract the thought just like it, and then I'm going to attract the thought just like it and even more, and I'm going to attract the thought just like it even more. And that kind of plays into your intuition. So my first thought, tonight's going to be a powerful class. The next thought is, I'm going to have so many people come in thirsty to learn about their intuition and the law of attraction. The next thought is, I'm going to have so many wonderful guests here that are going to help me teach this class, and so on and so forth. So the law of attraction, like attracts like, is going to keep bringing me what I need, especially as it goes with my thoughts, my intuition, things that I need to help me move forward. So those are my 5 things. And just a quick recap. Number 1, your intuition is constantly working, just as the law of attraction is constantly working. Number 2, you can utilize the law of attraction more in a beneficial way when you use your intuitive guidance. Number 3, your intuition and intuitive skills grow stronger the more you use it. Number 4, due to the law of attraction, your intuition is always correct and precise. Number 5, the law of attraction is the absolute component of intuition. Ask and it is given. So, Goddess Isis, do you want to share anything before we move forward? Kind of within the realm of those five things, or just something that you know to be true for the people?
No, I agree basically with what you're saying. I mean, I'm going to allow you to go on with the class because on each of them, I mean, you know me, I can delve a little deeper with it with you.
Share,
Let,
share.
but let's continue and then we'll we'll get a little deeper.
Okay. Well, I was just saying that because, within each portion, before I move on, I always try to get like a little feedback from the people in case anybody has a question or anybody wants to share anything. So I was letting you go first.
Yeah, I mean, there's just many different levels. Like I was saying about understanding your symbolism, that we could also delve into the chakras and understanding that as those being areas um, to pick up vibrational answers. But go ahead.
I was just going to say, because each class we have, and I'm glad you mentioned that, each class that we do here in Flowing Abundance, there's always room for part two. There's always
Hmm.
a room for part two because there's only so much I can cover in 2 hours. And,
Right.
I can't wait till the law of attraction and intuition part two. And hopefully maybe I can get you to just teach that class, God. But yeah, I'm all for it. Okay. Um, Thank you, Goddess. I'm going to go
Yes.
to Pooja.
Yes, yeah.
Any thoughts? Anything you want to share to help the people? Anything?
I mean, you have a good list. Sorry, I'm a little on the sleepy side. I'm jet lagged, so I'm listening, but I'm also like laying down. But the list is great. I mean, intuition is where it all starts. I mean, and it's some when you don't use your intuition, you wreak havoc in your life.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. Now I missed that. That should be number 6. When you don't use your intuition, you mess your life up.
Exactly.
Okay. Or you get farther from what you're trying to attract or manifest. So I think I really appreciate you for saying that. Oh, Miss Sherry.
But Jamad,
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. But along with that, like Pooja's saying, the one big thing that you have to learn when you are starting to work with your intuition is to trust your intuition. That's where a lot of people go wrong and make the delayed decisions that will delay their manifestation is because they don't trust in the answers that they're receiving. They don't trust their intuition. So we all have free will, and just because it's presented to you, if you don't allow, then you may miss that opportunity and
But
have to wait for that window to open up again.
and which that's a conversation that I've really been trying to have with people here during retrograde. It's because
Hmm.
I am noticing people that just go against their better judgment, i.e., their intuition, a lot of the time. So I'm
Well,
like,
Mercury retrograde is about self-reflection and self-awareness, as well it is, about communication.
communication,
But
yeah.
it's a time to slow down and reflect on ourselves.
hmm Yes, Pooja says, good point. You gotta trust the downloads from the universe. So just for anybody who've never heard that phrase, a lot of the get you, yaya, ta, ta, spiritual people, a lot of the woo-woo, they call it intuitive downloads when you receive direct information from the divine. It's like, how we download. Like how you download a song, you can download spiritual information. So they call it the downloads. Trust the downloads.
And
Uh,
th-
hmm.
one of the best ways to build that trust with yourself and the divine and the universe is to journal. I can't stress that enough because write down when what day, what time, whatever. Keep a journal with you so you can keep that journal going, and write down what it is that you ask for. And when it does come to fruition, write that down so you can start building that trust and understanding your symbolism.
Which is
It
also
has,
true, because I was going to say this, because I know, so there's multiple journals that I could think that would help your intuition and to help you in general. Like, I know earlier today, someone was telling me they started a gratitude journal yesterday.
mm-hmm.
And I know Elizabeth, which I wish Elizabeth was here. I don't know where she is. She's really the teacher of these classes. I just hold them and she comes and she teaches them. But Elizabeth is very big on evidence journals. Like, when you have decided that you're trying to manifest something, keep up with the evidence that is showing you that the manifestation is occurring. Even if you're trying to
Exactly.
manifest money, you need to keep up with the pennies that you're seeing. But one thing I will say that I was trying to do, and I was trying to mentally do this, and I just suck at it now, because I'm trying to keep up with the symbolism, though. And I'm going to talk
Yes.
about that because God is really like, any medium or a psychic really tells you need to know your symbolism.
Yeah, because what may mean something to you may not mean something. Like, for instance, if I'm sitting before somebody and I'm giving a reading, I give what I'm receiving because it doesn't have to make sense to me, because it's not about me. It's not for me. It's for the person I am reading. I have said some very crazy stuff and didn't know what the hell it meant or where it was coming from. And I said it and they're like, oh my God, they can cry, they can whatever, but they receive the message because it's not about me.
Mm-hmm. But this is what I was saying about the journaling part, though. So there was a day that I was like, a butterfly, not a butterfly, hell, a ladybug had landed on my shoulder. I was like, Jamad, remember this moment. Remember everything that took place in this moment. And then
Mm-hmm.
you will know every time a butterfly is in your experience, you know what this means. But let me tell you who just effed all that up. I just forgot about the butterfly, forgot about the day. And I keep saying butterfly. I meant to say ladybug, right?
Ladybug.
So you can tell I done messed all of that up. So I was like, now I never. But like, I've been seeing so many ladybugs, and I was like, oh, what does this mean? But if I would have journaled the day, journal things that took place, eventually I would have really got on point with that. So I really understand Goddess when she's saying, journal the things that happen in your experiences, because you want to know what the symbolism mean, especially if the universe is trying to get your attention. You want to know what they're saying. So a
Right.
journal is very important. I was trying to take mental notes and that just wasn't working. Okay.
Right.
So
And when I'm able to rattle off the symbolism, it's because I've been doing professional readings for 20 plus years. So I have my symbolism locked in. I understand it. But there's times here where I'm getting new symbolism. So those are the times when, okay, I make those notes in those journals about, in this reading, this showed up, this happened. So yeah, we have to always be open to continue to learn, because if you stop learning, you stop growing. And
very
we never
true.
want to stop growing.
Clarity equals growth.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. So, I wanted to hear from somebody else before I moved on. Miss Sherry,
Yes, sir.
how are you liking it so far? Anything you want to add?
I agree with everything that has been said. I don't know right offhand what I could add to it other than just build self-confidence. And basically, that's what everyone else has said, is just practice, 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 and build that self-confidence to where that you have that confidence in what you believe. I mean, I don't I have a lot of dreams, but they don't always mean significant things. I'm just going to give this as an example. But my husband knows whenever I have a dream that is significant, because I will share it with him. And I'll say, do you have anything? And he'll say, and he'll tell me if he does or not. And I'll share with him what my thoughts were before I ever discussed it with him. And I remember this one morning, I said, there's a situation, and whatever that situation was, I do not remember, but it was a situation, and I was really dealing with it, and he was praying with me that it would be resolved. And as he went to work that morning, I said to him, I don't know what's going to happen, but there's going to be 3 circumstances today, 3 events. And when you come in at 5 o'clock, I will be able to tell you what those incidents were, and I will have won. And sure enough, when he came in at 5 o'clock, he said, what happened? And I gave him the 3 circumstances, which each one of them I won, but the last one sealed it. So, like just what everyone else said, just know that you know what you know and practice.
I like that too. I like that. Know what you know, and practice. Because one thing I do try to teach people as it goes, not even with just intuitive skills, but with business skills and trying to grow your business and trying to do things like that. It's not about what you don't know. It's about what you do know. Always. It's always about what you do know, because you know what you need to know in the moment.
Right.
In the moment, there's so much clarity. In the moment, you will know what you need to know. And in the moment is where your intuition is the best at too. I mean, your intuition really does help you from afar, because clearly you woke up one morning and you knew you was going to have 3 challenges, but you didn't know those challenges until the moment.
That's right.
So your intuition is always present in the moment. You know what you need to know in the moment. It's not about what you don't know.
That's right.
And was you did you feel some type of way when you didn't know what the challenges were? Or you was just like, you know what, there's going to be some challenges. We'll see.
Usually I have an idea who or what the challenges involve.
Mm-hmm.
I usually know who or what involves the challenge, which it kind of, it kind of makes it nice, because to know that, to have that intuition, because then that situation or that person, you don't let them see you sweat.
I like that. Let me tell y'all, Miss Sherry is full of wisdom. She is. Can I tell them you're about to turn? What age you finna turn?
I don't care.
Okay, Miss Sherry is so full of wisdom. Miss Sherry is about to turn 70. Okay, and she is everything you need and more. Okay, I mean, I really enjoy her when she comes.
Oh no.
She's about to turn 70. Y'all wouldn't even know it. Tell her.
You're kind.
Y'all wouldn't even know it, because she's really with us on everything. Oh, Pooja says awesome with a smiley face.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you for your kind words, both of you.
Thank you, Miss Sherry, for all of that. I really appreciate it, because we needed that addition.
Thank you.
Okay. So before I move on, does anybody have anything else they want to add? Anything?
I think I like the idea of to write down things, to the journal.
And everybody, this is Samia.
Yeah, it's Samia, yeah. Because like I have a very high intuition, but with other people, but I want to use for myself, and when it's myself, I stay like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Like at the moment, my husband wants me to get a job instead of keep going to try to make my business work. And I was devastated, like, oh my God, how am I gonna do? I cannot believe, I cannot see myself doing other things. So I needed to get an intuition out. What should I do? Now, okay, get a job, but a job that is quite similar to what I wanted to do, because my vision not gonna die.
I know that's right.
Yeah, my vision, it's what I'm here to do. I know that. And then so you have to give me. And I manifest quite a lot, like things that, he can even not believe. But yeah, so yeah, I think I got a journal was a very good tip.
I think that's awesome. And I appreciate you sharing that too, because journaling is probably one of the most powerfulest spiritual tools that everyone has access to.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for sharing that.
Samia.
Anybody? She had muted herself, but she's still here.
Oh, okay. I
Yes,
just
yes.
wanted to share with her. Hi, this is Goddess Isis. I was just picking up a few things I wanted to share with you quickly. Tap back into your solar plexus chakra, which is where our willpower sits and our belief system. And also, your belief system is being tested. You understand that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From a lot of things that you've been told, you need to just reevaluate your belief system from where you stand now at this point. But I didn't want to get all off into a reading, but I wanted to give you and share that information with you. Sorry.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I needed to, because my husband wants, that I make money now, and business take time to make money,
Mm-hmm.
We all
So
know.
yeah, so I'm in this, okay, what I'm gonna do? Maybe I got a 2 days job, any job, just to leave him calm, and
Mm-hmm.
and keep doing, because I have a vision, and I know that can turn to something better,
Yes.
Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Goddess Isis. Y'all book Goddess, because we didn't. She gave that reading on the house. Okay, that was really nice of you, Goddess. But
We have to pay it
it's
forward.
all love. Yeah, it's all love. So
Okay, I'm shutting up, Jamad.
okay. So did anybody have anything else they want to share though? Because I try to leave. I like these things to be a discussion, a mastermind. Really, I like doing masterminds. I don't like just lecturing people, because I don't. I know a lot though, but I don't know everything. So anybody before I put the next set of things down? Okay, cool. So we're going to start with the basis of how to use your intuition. We're going to start with the basis of how to use your intuition. And as y'all heard, Goddess Isis spoke about the chakras, because intuition, and I'm not going to say things get deeper, but things become more general. And you'll see how everything is connected. Okay, so I don't like to say deeper. Everything gets more general because everything is connected in a way where you'll see how intuition applies to a lot of different aspects of your life. So it becomes more generalized. I mean, you could probably somehow find a connection between intuition and how cars work. Okay, so everything grows more and more general. So I want to give y'all the basis of how to use your intuition. And on this basis, I want y'all to know that everything starts at the heart. Okay, your heart chakra, your heart area is a very powerful space for your intuition, which a lot of people will tell you your upper chakras are really where your intuitive guidance come from. Your throat chakra, your third eye, your crown chakra, and that is true. But the heart chakra connects your upper chakras and your lower chakras, which your lower chakras are all about you. Your upper chakras is about communication and divine and things like that, things outside of you, right? So, but the heart connects all of that. So the heart is a very powerful energy center. So if you really don't know a lot about intuition or intuitive skills, or even about the law of attraction, I do want you to know that everything starts at the heart. Goddess,
Yes.
could you explain why you tell people that though? Because I'm like, I want to give them a definition of why you say everything starts at the heart beyond what I just
Because
said.
because no matter in life, no matter what we're doing, everything is about intention. And we need to come from a pure space, because you can take it from many different teachings. That what we give out, we get back, karma. So everything starts with intention. If you're going to give a reading to somebody, what is your intention? Is it to help someone? Is it to be of service? We are to be of service to each other, and you can only do that if you care for someone and love someone. So everything has to start in that heart space. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. That is love. That is intention. To manifest something, you have to set your intention. Is it for the greater good of everyone? You don't go out to set selfish goals. Like, we're supposed to be of service to everyone. Let it be a blessing for everyone involved, the greater good of everyone. So yeah, everything has to start from the heart space. If people were to acknowledge just pure love, the world would be in peace. Everybody could harmonize. They would understand we're all a collective consciousness. We're all connected.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I think love is one of the most, everything starts in the heart, but I think love is one of the most powerful things
Right.
that aids your intuition. And it was one person in particular. I love them so much, and it seemed like I always knew what was up, what was going on, what to say, because love really removes a lot of barriers between you and another person or people in general, which really kind of aids your intuitive skills, because when you remove a lot of the barriers, a lot of information can pour through.
Right, because if you think about it, love is synonymous with trust. It can be synonymous with honesty, and all of that is needed when you're dealing with your intuition. Compassion. You may sometimes have to deliver a message, but you need to be able to deliver it in a non-judgmental, a non-harmful way. So yeah, I mean, it transcends through everything.
Yes, and I'm telling you, love is where miracles come from. I mean,
Mhm.
because and let me tell you, and Mother Teresa said, if you judge them, you cannot love them. Love and judgment can't exist in the same space. And I will tell you,
Right.
judgments really block your intuition
Oh yeah, because
all
that's
the
the
time.
ego speaking. Now that's the ego coming about. Now you need one of my favorite people, John Edward, the psychic medium from Long Island, where I'm from.
They
Um,
do all the psychics and mediums come from that area of America?
we
You
got
just
Teresa Caputo, we got me, we got but he once said in one of his lectures that the ego can be for good or for low vibrational things, but you need a little bit of the ego, because the ego does tell you, I can do
I
this.
can do this. I'm a bad, you know what? The ego
Right.
does
And
say that, yeah.
and right. And you do need that little bit of ego to give you that confidence. It's when
Hmm.
it tries to take over and
And when
say,
it
oh, it's
tries to
all
make you
about
feel separated from people, and when it tries to
right.
make you feel, yeah.
And that's why, what do I always say? I'm honored and I'm humbled to be of service. But you gotta stay humble.
Hmm. Thank you, goddess.
You're
See,
welcome.
that's why I'm telling y'all, follow you in your intuition. I didn't know if she was gonna be busy or not, but I asked her to come anyway. And it showed, and it was like, that's a little improvement on my intuitive muscles, because I followed that hunch. But let me tell y'all, to be
Yeah.
honest, at this point in my life, I follow all hunches. Okay, all gut feelings, all thoughts, because I know where they get me. So, but it it,
Hmm.
it, it took a life of practice, a strong 26 years. Okay, so. Thank you, Goddess. So here's an exercise that I want to do with somebody. So I want to see who wants to volunteer their little moment with me to do an intuition exercise. It's not going to be too long, but I really want to show y'all a basis of how you can use your intuition. Okay? So, well, somebody got the hell up out of here. They said they wasn't doing it. I mean,
I can do
excuse
it.
me, somebody just left. Who was that? Who said I can do it?
Me, Samia.
Samia. Okay, then you were kind of who I had in mind, but it's up to you. So we're gonna go with trying to improve your feeling of intuitive guidance. Okay, so here's a brief exercise that I picked up from I think Sonia Shaquette, but I can't really remember who I got it from, but it was somebody like her. Okay, are you familiar with Sonia?
No.
Okay, well she's like a Hay House author, big
Sonia
time.
Choquette, you mean?
Shaquette, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know her. Yes.
Thank you. I sure said it wrong. I'm sorry. Pooja, I'm gonna need you to teach me how to pronounce all these names so I don't.
Okay, we'll have a separate chat on
Okay,
all the names.
it's gonna have to be like a pronounce these names session.
Yes.
Like, okay, I really appreciate you.
You can book your session later.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Continue.
Samia,
Yeah.
great. So we're going to talk about something that you want to manifest, but you haven't really found the means of manifesting that. Do you know what that thing is that you would feel free to talk about?
So what do I want to manifest?
What is something that you want to manifest, but you haven't really felt the intuitive guidance or the pull, or you feel kind of blocked on the manifestation?
I think it's related to my business.
Okay.
It's, like because now I have been developing, part-time for some years while I was raising my kid. And now that my kid is going to the school every day, I said, oh, great, now I'm going to have more time. But now my husband wants me to find a job to
Mm-hmm.
make the money now. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm really like, okay, now I have to find a job, but I'm feeling like, okay, give me your intuitions, like what should I do? And that it's something related because I don't want to leave my vision.
Mm-hmm. I understand that. So let's just go with this. Let's take the time to go about this job thing. Okay. So how do you feel about getting a job?
I cry. I
Okay.
feel I feel like I I didn't born to be in an office. I didn't born to be constrained. I'm always has been free, like even when I had a job, I was sales rep many years ago. So I didn't have to go to the office. I would be on the road all the time. And then I moved countries. I have several casual jobs at once. And then I found one job in an office, and in a year I want to get out of there, and I quit. So I needed to be free, like I
Mm-hmm.
needed to do several things, and yeah. So
Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you
I
this.
feel like cry and I cry, like I say, oh my God, job. Oh.
Yeah. So I would tell you this there because we're not going to talk about that then because we know that in the job is getting a job is not totally in your best interest. But we're gonna map that out really shortly based on using your intuition. But I clearly, if you cry about it, I would never tell you to do such a thing. Okay, because clearly, what I know for sure, one of my job modisms, and I think I said within the last couple classes, is what's best for me is best for everybody. And just knowing that and believing that what's best for me is best for everybody. Because and I want to say this really quickly, our life purpose, and everybody's searching for their life purpose, but everyone is born with the same life purpose, is to expand in ways that you feel best, or to expand in ways that suit you, or to expand in ways that you have deemed the ways that you want to expand in your life. So if you want to expand right now in a way that you are doing your own business, or if you want to expand in a way that you're getting a new job, that's your purpose. Okay, your purpose is to expand
Yeah.
constantly. Okay, so so let's talk more so about your business because that's more popular, positive. So, how do you feel about your business right now?
Well, I feel like right now I have learned a lot about, technical things and more clarity about things and more confidence about things. And, like I'm in another level to
That's good.
just walk away. Like now is the time to say, okay, I know how the systems works. I know I have a little bit more clarity about my ideal client. And, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to take new photos and get a new energy. But this thing, like, okay, I need to find a job now, and took all my energy out of
Yeah, let's
the
not
business.
even talk about that right now. Let's not talk about the job.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how you feel about your business. So you have leveled up in so many ways to make your business work. So this is where we're going to get into the intuitive exercise. What do you think is preventing you from making your business work right now? What is your mind telling you is holding you back with your business?
Wow, it's like time. Because
Hmm.
before because I was like just a few days, I was like, okay, if I got plenty clients, I'm not gonna have time and I'm gonna be overwhelmed and all those kind of things. But then I said, oh, now that I'm gonna have more time because my son is going to school, then I have to find a job. I cannot find, yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Time.
So this is where we get into the exercise. So take a deep breath.
Yes.
Okay, take another one. Like really center yourself. Take a deep breath, kind of hold it a little bit, and then release it.
Yes.
Okay. So close your eyes if you feel safe to close your eyes in the moment. Always have to ask that. So close your eyes real quick.
Yes.
Visualize a beautiful light at your heart, around your heart. That light can be any color that you want. Okay, visualize a beautiful light around your heart.
Yes.
Okay, what color is that?
Pink.
It's pink. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful heart chakra color. Okay, now open your eyes,
Yes.
look around the room, and tell me what you see.
What do I see?
Hmm.
Well, I see my screen, I see my table,
Hmm.
see my
What else do
plant,
you see? You see your plants?
I see my tree, my chairs, my bicycle, the birds, the trees.
Oh, it is the daytime. Okay, in
Yeah.
Australia. Okay. So I'm going to ask you again to close your eyes and breathe and think about that light at your heart.
Yes.
If you could name that heart anything, what name comes to mind? I mean heart. If you could name that light anything, what name comes to mind?
What a name for the light?
Yes, what would you name that light?
Expansion.
You would name that light and expansion.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Okay, then. So great. Oh, that's powerful. You named expansion. Okay, so open your eyes for me.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think is going to really help you move forward in your business? But this time, I want you to ask expansion. Ask that light that you just named. Ask expansion, what's going to really help you move forward in your business?
New ideas.
Okay, keep asking, ask expansion, what's going to help you? New ideas as in what?
Mm-hmm. Um, don't give up.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Wait for the universe.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, look back around your room. What do you see in your room again? Describe something new that you see to me in your room.
The birds in my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the picture that you put in.
What color is it?
Yellow.
Okay. So great. I want to go back. Let's go back to asking and expansion again. What is something that you need that is going to help you? What is something that you know is going to push you forward in your business? Ask that heart space. Ask that pink light. Ask expansion. What is going to help you expand in your business?
Well, I think maybe talk to a person that has a bigger open mind,
Do you,
like
do you know
vision.
who that person is?
No, not yet.
Are you willing to wait to meet that person?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you feel like that is the best next step for you in your business?
Well, I guess so. I needed to get like a very expanded mind, but already very, very expanded, because then can help me, to see how easily I can do it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay there. So that what can you do you feel that you can trust that what you just received as your intuitive guidance as for your next
Mhm.
step
Yeah, just wait. Yeah.
and meet a person? What did you just describe to me? Because this is the exercise that I feel is really powerful for people using their own intuitive guidance, especially if you're not somewhat used to it. Because a lot of people have expanded their intuition by using card readings, which I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit. But this exercise, and I'm going to describe it in like a step-by-step kind of way, but it's really about, so Goddess Isis described an ego. So when I asked, because the ego does have valid opinions and tips, so we should keep up with what our ego is saying sometime. But so that's why I asked her in the beginning, that's why I asked Samia in the beginning, what does your mind say about all of this, right? How do you feel about this? So we can get the ego's opinion out the way. But then I wanted her to really get into the heart-centered space to ask her intuitive guidance, her inner guidance, to ask expansion, what she named her intuitive guidance in the moment. What does expansion say? What does expansion think you should do? What does expansion know? So there was a moment that, in all honesty, Samia, I felt you get into your head about it, about what I was asking you. I felt you went back to the ego asking the question. So the best way to get out of your ego is to get centered. And that's why I asked Samia, okay, what do you see in front of you? She saw the bird. She saw the color yellow. So that got her centered in the now. It got her centered into the now moment. So then in that moment, she could say, okay, I'm present, because what I told y'all earlier is in the moment, you have so much clarity. In the moment, you really know what you need to know. So that's why after I got her centered again, and she looked around her, and that's something that a lot of y'all should do when you don't feel like you know the answer to something. Get yourself centered, look around the room, get back into the present moment, because in the present moment, you know what you need to know. And then after that, it's like, okay, now what does your intuition say? Well, what does expansion say will really move you forward in your business? And she said, to meet with somebody that will help her open her mind and things like that. So that was what I could take from it, and what I hope that anyone else could take from it. That was an intuitive moment. So
Mhm.
that is, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
So do you have any questions about that? Because it is a cute little tricky exercise.
don't know. I think at the moment I just need to calm down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like when I'm in that space, oh my God, you know, like it's not the best space to get into the intuition, but you put me into contact a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you for participating. I hope, I hope it was
My
like
pleasure.
really,
Thank you.
yeah, really helpful, because that's the thing. So you have to find, and I felt like it was so powerful when you named your heart-centered space, your inner guidance, expansion, because that's really something that you want to move into. I heard a client name their inner guidance trusting, and I thought that was so interesting, but they was like, I've always liked the name trusting. And, when you kind of break that word down, it was really like trust in. And in that moment, they really needed to trust in themselves. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so neat how people will name their inner guidance based on what it is that they may need at the time. So, but my thing about it is you can grow to get really used to getting in that space and asking your heart space those questions, asking that intuitive, that powerful intuitive center, which everything starts at the heart, because the heart really knows your intentions. The ego will go against your intentions a lot of the time. The mind, the monkey mind, the mind that says, okay, well, we have to be logical about this. And, in the universe that I live in, where I can be, do, I have, whatever it is that I desire, logic is really nonsense, in my opinion, when logic says, well, this is what everybody else is doing, and then this is how it goes. You can't be no different. You can't be no better. That's not really logical to me. Logical to me is I can be and do and have all of my desires.
Yeah,
So,
I really believe in that. I really believe in that. But I just feel I have some blocks around this, around the business. Because I really believe, because I already manifest so many things in my life. So, yeah.
mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure you got it. And I think God has gave you a message about, your beliefs are somewhat, Goddess, could you piggyback on that if you don't mind? Because I kind of forgot it myself.
Yeah. When I was listening, before you really started expressing and doing the exercise, I did hear sponsor for you. So you need to be looking for somebody to actually sponsor you. You need that kind of mental challenge to take you to the next step. But what I'm also picking up is when you were talking about the job or having to get a job, you said it makes you want to cry. So the universe is picking up on that. Step back and try and get into a mental space of gratitude for what you already have. Because the universe is, you're saying to the universe, I don't want a job because it's going to block me. But the reason for the job is to have money to help better provide. So think about it. What would your business bring you? Not only satisfaction, but it would bring you financial gain. But if you're already telling the universe, part of why I don't want to work is because I don't want it. I don't want money. So stop and think about it in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Be grateful for where you are. Right. You want money, but because you may not be willing to take that step to get a job, who knows? Think about it this way, because I'm always telling people, try to find a positive in it. So think about it. If you go out there, because I heard you say that you wanted to get a job that was somewhat related to the business that you're trying to start. So think about it. What if your connection, what if your sponsor is at that job that you're resisting?
Yeah, could be.
So change your perception and change your affirmation and try this. Say, I receive and allow the ideal job for me, and your ideal job would include connections for your business.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Goddess, because I was sitting here thinking to myself, I was like, because that's something that, especially resistance is a tricky thing. Okay.
Right, and
Because
Jamal,
yeah,
Abraham
yeah,
always
that's what I
like
was just going to say.
if
Resistance is a tricky thing.
right, and if
And
we're not grateful for what we have, the universe treats us as its children. Would you keep giving an ungrateful child more toys if they keep tearing up their toys? No. So the universe is saying, well, you ain't grateful for what we gave you. So until you learn to appreciate what you got, why should we give you more? Because you're just going to do more complaining.
And retrograde is a tricky time too. But I
Yeah.
did want to say, before we move on, about this thing about resistance. So, and I think I've touched on this in a couple of law of attraction classes, but it's always good to talk about again and again. So sometimes resistance is about how you're looking at the situation. So when God is asking us about, change your perception of it, that is all good and cool, because your emotions really guide you. Okay, that's why I try to tell people, if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. But before you just rule that it doesn't feel right and that you're not going to do it, you need to look at it and see if you're looking at it through fear, or if you're looking at it through love, or if you're looking at it from a very ego space, or looking at it from a higher space. So you can know if it's really resistance and it's the universe trying to guide you to something better, or guide you from something, or if it's really you just being in your own way. So before you make a decision about something, saying, okay, it doesn't feel right, say, okay, what about it doesn't feel right? Is it because the universe is trying to guide me, or is it because of how I'm looking at the situation? So, and most times the universe is trying to guide you, but then sometimes it's because you're looking at it in a funny way. So I do want to say that. So resistance is a good thing, because it helps you, because you want to live your life through ease and grace, right? So resistance lets you know that, hey, you're coming up against something that you really don't want, but most times it's based either on how you're looking at it or how the universe is trying to guide you. So I just want to put it out there. So everybody, I really wanted to share that little skill with everybody who are really trying to grow their intuition. Okay, get into your heart-centered space. Get centered, become present, and then ask the questions that you need to know. And I tell you, from that space, you will receive all the guidance you would ever need. So if you find it hard getting into that space, you're welcome, Samia. If you find it hard getting into that space, breathe, close your eyes, visualize that light, okay? Name that light. Become present, look around the room, describe the colors, describe the floor. You may just want to say, oh, I see a brown carpet, white carpet, whatever. Get centered and then ask, and allow those answers to come to you. Pooja says that was an amazing exercise. Like, Pooja, have you ever done it before? Like, have you ever heard of that exercise? I kind of learned it this year. I thought it was cute. Not quite. Okay, then. So before we move to the next part, anybody, any questions, any comments, anything you want to share about using your intuition?
Jamal, I want to interject here because we're almost having people who may not be that in tune with their intuition. It's almost like having them start in the middle. People have to identify with which clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, which clair do they, right, which one do they really resonate with? And that's a practice within itself. I try to tell people, put yourself under the umbrella like I do. People will say, well, which clair are you? I'm clairvoyant, because I receive messages in many ways. And I'm aware of that. But if you're starting out, you want to see which one is stronger for you. So this way you can kind of practice with that.
Actually, that's exactly what we're finna talk about, though,
Oh.
in like the next section.
Look, do you see my intuition working? No.
I see you. Okay, because I was like, but the only reason why I shared this is because I feel like I think I'm calling this exercise because I don't know what Sonia called it, but I'm calling this exercise. What does my heart say? Like, you need to understand what your mind is saying about the situation, but you want to get into that space of understanding what does your heart say about the situation, because I think everything starts with the heart. So I think if you get really centered with your intentions, you can really receive intuitional guidance. Okay, Goddess Pooja, use the microphone.
Okay. Hi, Goddess. I just wanted to ask. So I get a lot of intuitive messages or hits, downloads, however you want to put it, through my dreams. I'll wake up the next morning and I'll be like, oh, so I think I got a message. So this is what I'm supposed to do, or this is where I feel like that comes through my dreams. So what is that called?
I believe it's clairvoyance, Goddess.
Yeah, I believe it's clairvoyance too, Pooja. One thing to be mindful and journal is, like me and my mom both have the gift of prophetic dreams, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, there's many different terms, but how do you dream? Do you dream symbolically, or do you dream just straight out? Like, you see the person who's involved and that's how it comes to be. So it's important to note that, like, I don't dream in a lot of symbolism. So people will ask me, well, what does this symbol mean in a dream? And I'll say, well, I'm sorry, I don't know. You probably want a dream dictionary. So, I mean, how are your dreams, the information revealed to you? Is it
more
direct
than direct?
Okay, so then that's an important part where you want to start noticing the symbolic messages that you're receiving.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I will also say, Abraham teaches a lot about how dreams work. Law of attraction, like attracts like. So Abraham has really expressed that when you're trying to understand what your dream is saying to you, dream interpretation, and this can also be read as a process in the back of Asking It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks. Dream interpretation can be based a lot about, because we know our feelings guide you. So you can get a lot of information from the dream when you start with, okay, how did the dream make me feel? Because how the dream is making you feel, it would let you know if you're manifesting or attracting something that you do want, or the dream is telling you, hey, hold up, stop what you're doing, because you're going in a direction that you do not want. And that's when you wake up with a funky kind of feeling dream. Okay, so it's
and
easier
is it your subconscious actually working out something that you went through during that day? Because I've had that too.
That's a whole nother aspect, but I'm glad you brought that up, because
I have one more input. So Pooja, if you can actually Google what that dream was, and then
this is Arti,
yes,
everybody.
Sir.
This is Arti.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I was a little quiet for a while. But essentially, Google that dream, like one or two aspects of that dream, and then put symbolic meaning into Google. You may actually get a little bit more information on kind of the deeper meaning of what it means. Yeah, because I've been doing that a lot lately.
Oh, cool. I'd like to suggest
it's been helping.
Edgar Casey.
Oh yeah, I love him.
He has a dream interpretation book.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh.
Yeah. You can go to the ARE or go to like the Google App Store, and I believe you can purchase it for download, because it might be something you want to keep, like in your phone or tablet, so you always have it near you.
Got it.
I will tell you, Goddess Isis will put you on Edgar Casey. Okay,
honey. Yes. Because about
Yeah,
30 years ago, when I first discovered him, that was the first person I read about that I could resonate with all the psychic phenomenal experiences I had been having, and it let me know I am not crazy. And
yeah,
you know,
go ahead.
no, that is like my trip. I want to go to the ARE in Virginia Beach, but
Yeah, Vince, nice.
yeah,
I grew
and
up
he's
there,
the most
guys.
documented psychic in America. Over 140,000 readings.
Yep. And the funniest thing is I took my whole family and they're not into
Really?
this stuff and they were like, "Where are you taking us?"
Oh, you went there? Oh, wow.
It was awesome.
Well,
Yes, I
you
just
know
can't.
what?
Nice.
Let's all plan a trip.
I'm
For
telling you,
the
I can't
next
wait to get to that
intuition
bookstore.
class, I was saying the next intuition class, we're gonna meet at the ARE. Okay.
Okay,
I'm from Virginia Beach too, guys. I would love to go
really?
there again. I grew
Yes.
up in Hampton Roads in Norfolk, Portsmouth, Chesapeake.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like all these like islands that are like together.
It's
Mm-hmm.
also
Southeastern Virginia. Southeastern Virginia.
it's actually one of my favorite beaches from DC. I know we're going off topic, but it's
I
one
was
of my
just gonna say, all right now, y'all.
Right.
Y'all done
but
heard Edgar Casey. Y'all done went all everywhere.
Well, I'd love to meet you guys, so let's plan a trip there.
yeah, so going back to what Arthi said, which will go back to what Isa said. So
Yeah.
yeah, I get symbolic dreams, and I have a hard time with it because I don't know what they mean a lot of times. I'm not like good with the whole dream interpretation thing. So my sister, what's interesting is she's very into dream interpretation. So she does a lot of times she's the one who's like doing the Google searches for my on my behalf, and she'll be like, "Ooh, let's see what that's about," and she'll figure it out, and she helps me process them, which is so interesting. So it's like we need each other in order to get to the message. She helps me decode them.
Which I think is amazing because I will tell y'all this. The most powerful law of attraction tool that teaches us that asking is given is Google.
Yes.
Okay. Asking it is given. Go ask on Google. Okay. You know what? I want to turn the Google search engine to askingitsgiven.com. I think that'll be cuter than Google. Anyway, so, but let me tell y'all, that's why I wish Nita was here, our dream guru.
Yes.
But
Sorry.
but she had to do the piano.
Yeah, she had to
She's
do the thing.
That's okay though. I love her so much. She's the best. Everybody. Pooja has a very talented sister named Nita. I can't wait till y'all meet her. Okay. So I'm gonna try to roll back into class. Anything else though before we move into the next session? Because I am losing time, but I never want to miss anything that anybody else has to say though. As it
I just have
goes
one
with.
quick question.
Mm-hmm.
So again, in order to really trust your intuition, just essentially move towards your heart and listen to your heart more. Is that what's the point with it?
Well, that was one of the points, kinda, but it's
Okay.
more so like the easier way. Because because a lot of intuition is based on intention. So that's why God says it starts with the heart, and that's why when people are doing readings and things, they try to set their intentions. When they use the cards, they try to set their intentions because they know when an intention is set, that's somewhat what they're going to receive back. So the heart is really a very intentional space. So when you really work in that space, especially if you're really trying to grow your intuition and you're not really kind of new to the thing, that's a very easy place to start. If you go to the heart space, because it's really the strongest energy center on your body. And we know that energy, not only you put out energy, you receive energy. So a lot of that is already going on at the heart. So it's a really easy place to get to. But so this is where we get into, so I wanted to give y'all like an easy exercise of using your intuition, but so we can get into some of the more detailed stuff as Goddess was saying. Thank you, Arthi. Anybody else though? I don't want nobody feeling rushed because I got time. Anybody else got any questions? Okay, y'all ain't got to say nothing. That's all right. But okay, so what does your heart say is a really great exercise. Okay, what does my heart say about the situation? But don't forget, start with your mind. What does my mind say about the situation? And if that doesn't feel good, which it usually won't, then go to the heart and say, okay, well, what does my heart say? Remember to get centered, breathe, get present, then ask. Okay, but to grow your intuition, okay, because this is what a lot of this is about. And through the law of attraction, you get a lot of opportunities to grow your intuition. Like attracts like. When I really started using card readings, I got better and better and better at them. I got more opportunities to do them. Like attracts like. The law of attraction is always helping you grow and expand in so many ways, because that's your purpose. Okay, but as Goddess was saying earlier, you really want to learn and grow your awareness, how you communicate with the universe, how you communicate with the divine, how your intuition picks up these impulses. So somebody really smart came up with this word called clair. I think it's French, I can't recall, but it means clear in so many words. So there's different types of intuitive gifts. I can't name them all because there are a lot of them. Okay, but I think there's like a very strong 7, is it? Goddess, maybe a very strong 5. So I'm gonna name the ones I know, and then if I miss one, can you kind of help me out?
Yeah, if I remember.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna start with the one that I've used all my life, very, very strongly, and it's called claircognizance, which means clear knowing. Clear knowing. I know things, and it's like it's really my strongest intuitive gift. Okay, because I think about something, and then the next thing I think is the answer. So I'm constantly receiving intuitive downloads in that way through my thoughts. The universe, God, the divine, angels, ancestors, loved ones that have crossed over, people's energies, can be communicated to me through my thoughts. That is claircognizance. And I tell you, my intuition skyrocketed. Soon as I heard about that, I did not know that the divine could communicate with me through my thoughts. I just thought I was fucking smart, excuse my language. I just thought I was really smart a lot of the time. So with that being said, my claircognizance was my strongest skill, but also I noticed that my clairsentience, which is clear, what is that, clear feeling, Goddess?
Yes.
Clear feeling. So clairsentience was like how my body felt about something. Sometimes I didn't think about anything, but it's like I felt an impulse in my body that said move, or I felt an impulse in my body that made me feel some type of way that kind of gave me the knowledge that said, oh, do this. Like clairsentience is really inner feeling, clear feeling, clear feeling. So with clear feeling, there used to be a time that I would travel, or when I would decide to travel, and people were like, oh, when you leaving or when you going? I was like, child, I know when I feel the vibration. So it's like when I felt the vibration to pack up my stuff and go, it wasn't like a thought that came to my mind. It's like, oh, maybe I should leave right now. No, it was like a feeling like, oh, I felt like packing. Okay? That was a lot of the times that my clairsentience was working. And I use clairsentience also when I do my card readings. I don't just shuffle and then just pick a card, from the top. I feel the cards, and then I feel the one that I actually, the one that's kind of calling out to me or wants to be pulled. I feel, oh, this is the one to pull. I don't think about it. I feel it. So that's clairsentience. Another skill that I've just really started growing in my intuition is clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is the skill of clear vision, okay, clear sight. And it's more so, and I was explaining this to someone the other day, sometimes you do have visions, okay? And you may see someone, like you may see like a specter or a stream of light or something through your clairvoyance. But sometimes your clairvoyance is working through like your imagination. You see things through your imagination. Okay? So that's really, clairvoyance works in those different types of ways of you being able to see. I was talking to a client one time, and I was talking to them, and I felt through my clairsentience like like shackles on my arms. And I kind of saw them through my clairvoyance. I kind of saw those shackles through like my imagination. I saw those shackles on my arm. And it was because that person was really, really, really kind of holding themselves back, really kind of bound. And they felt like they were, I won't say a slave in their own life, but they did not have the empowerment to make their own decisions. So they were really bound a lot. And that's what I saw. And I expressed that to that person. And that person's like, oh my God, that's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I see these things, you know? So that was a very great intuitive moment through clairvoyance. Also, there's oh my goodness, goddess. Which one is like clairaudience?
Yeah, the clairaudience is the hearing, like you're hearing voices. Some people, you know, have been skeptical and scared, like they're, you know, hearing voices.
Yeah, and actually I was in
With
an
a mental
intuitive,
disorder, that's what I'm trying to say.
yeah, I was in an intuitive group last week, and it's an intuitive development circle that my friend Dr. Walker is doing for the month of December. And it was one girl in the group, her clairaudience was really, really a big thing. That was a very strong, intuitive, communicative skill she had, that she could hear people in her ear just yapping, 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 yapping. And she was trying to get those messages out so they would shut up, so to speak. So that was a very big skill. But Dr. Walker even explained that, you know, for a lot of people, clairaudience, you know, they whisper. So you have to have it kind of quiet so you can even hear them. But that girl, she said she could hear them loud and clear. So that's something that she's really developed strongly. Okay. So clairaudience, and then we also have clair. Okay, so there's other clairs for like when you taste something intuitive, like you can kind of taste it through your intuition. And there's another clair that you can kind of smell things through your intuition, like scents. Like, okay, let's say you're doing a reading for somebody, and then you begin to smell something like a cigar. Well, maybe that person's loved one like to smoke a lot of cigars, right? So these are things, or maybe someone in your life who is trying to reach you and guide you smoked a lot of cigars, and then all of a sudden you have that smell coming, and it's reminding you that that person is still with you, and things like that. So
can I
go
just
ahead,
add something?
add everything.
Okay, so for developing our intuition, some key things. First and foremost, what I teach everybody is the fact that you need to know how to ground and protect yourself. You do not open up yourself to any energy, to receiving any messages, until you know how and feel comfortable in protecting yourself. A part of that is also learning how to cleanse yourself from the information you're receiving, because you don't want to hold on to this information, especially if you're doing readings for somebody or taking on information. But another big part is developing your team, your spirit guides, your angel teams, whoever your higher source is, making sure that you have that bond and that connection with your team, because your team is going to be essential in you receiving messages and you feeling safe in receiving messages. See, a lot of times the reason our intuition is blocked is because of fear. We fear what we may know. I've had clients over the years tell me, I want to read them, but I'm scared what I'm going to hear. Well, like I tell them, I have set up with my team that I don't deliver bad messages. I don't do health readings because I'm not God. There's things that you set up with, like you have some mediums who, like, they allow their body to be entered to channel messages. That's not happening here. I've set up with my team. I'm not doing that, you know. And there's just different things, like Teresa Caputo, the Long Island medium. She says, oh, I feel this pain in my chest. No, Edgar Casey even taught about that, about, you're wearing and taxing your own body. You want to be of service, but you got to be of service to yourself first and make sure that you are well grounded and protected and know how to handle this, and set up with your guides. What is it that I want to do with my gifts or my intuition? So see, laying down foundation with all of that is very important. You won't just start receiving messages unless you understand what your belief system is with it, and where your boundaries are. If that makes sense and helps anybody. I just want everybody to be very, very aware of protecting yourself, for opening yourself, because even though we're opening and saying we want to receive messages, like I tell people, you have to turn back that crown chakra and close it a little bit when you're done receiving information, or if you're not that practiced in it, you don't want to be wide open, because as well as there's high vibrational energy that we're trying to receive, there's low vibrational energy. And if you don't know how to differentiate between the two, or how to block it and protect yourself, then you leave yourself wide open for too much.
And you know what? I'm going to say this, and because Goddess does raise a great point, and she made me think about some people. So this is important to share, especially if there's someone who's watching this that do want to work in readings and mediumship and things like that. So I will say this. Goddess does raise a lot of great points in establishing your intuitiveness and laying the foundation, because there are some people that do try to adapt these teachings and do try to grow their intuition, and they do go real left real quick to where they're seeing like dark specters,
right,
and ghosts in the house, and they spraying rose water and they ringing bells because they're scared of shit. So
right.
That is very true. So
And my whole point, Jamont, not to cut you off, because I know where you're going with it too. And, we've talked about it before. You can't tell me that I'm doing the greater good for somebody, which brings us back to intention. And you can't tell me that my higher source, who has me doing this work, which is my purpose, you're going to let me be attacked? No. So there's something wrong with that person's intention. I'm just saying.
There's something, and that's another thing. And it's like what you think about, you bring about a lot of the time. So
right.
I remember there are people who are talking about activating their third eye, which is a whole nother conversation. Okay. Because I don't ever believe the intuition closes in so many words.
Right.
But there are people that were saying they were activating their third eye. Then they started seeing all these boogeymen in so many words. So, it's like people taking too much negative information, and then they start to internalize it, and they start to see it a lot of the time.
But let's go back to the heart space, because is that where their heart truly is?
They want to be some kind of super spiritual, seeing boogeyman person, gotta be. So. And that's just, that's a whole nother. Goddess, I can't even go with you in that direction right now, because I don't want to offend no people in the world. But I do want to say this though. It's very important, as it goes with this foundation that Goddess is talking about, is to really learn how you work with your intuition, or really learn how you receive these messages. Like I told you, I receive messages through feelings a lot of the time. Like when I feel like I should do something, or I feel like I receive a lot of messages that way. I receive a lot of messages through my thoughts. I receive visual messages as well. So it's really great to know how the universe communicates with you, because then you begin, once you become aware of it, you have the opportunity to strengthen those connections, to strengthen those spiritual muscles.
Jamad, just one more thing I wanted to throw in there while you're talking about this. One of the biggest things too is first learning to trust your intuition, but also you have to have some validation. Because it's great that you feel like it's right, but you have to have validation.
We're gonna get to that too.
Oh, okay. I'm muting myself again. I'm ahead of it. Okay.
But you know, that's why we have our expert on board, okay? Because she's gonna make sure nothing is missed. Thank you, goddess. But so before we get into that, I do want to ask Joshua. Joshua, you here? Coach Phillips.
I'm here.
How do you feel that what skill or how do you feel that your intuition is used? Like what do you think the divine communicates with you? How which one of those clairs or any other thing that you feel
I
is how
actually,
you're being communicated with?
I think it's more of how would you put it? I guess like a step, a supporting tool, not necessarily clarity, but I'm able to feel how someone's feeling in the moment and give them clarity on what that is.
But how do you feel that you receive that clarity?
Actually through numbers. I know y'all hit on angel numbers earlier, but it's typically through symbols or numbers that come throughout people or images, or it could be commercials on TV, but literally it's just symbols or numbers.
So you notice what you notice.
Yep.
Okay, girl. Okay. So you, as long as you know your intuitive skills, right, you can really grow them stronger. And to be honest, you'll notice that you have more than one too, and you can grow those because you know that intuition is always working. Thank you, Joshua.
You're welcome.
Miss Sherry.
I'm here.
What do you feel is your intuitive, the way the divine communicate with you through skill?
I sense a lot. Yeah, mine is I sense a lot. I don't see a whole lot, but I do sense. I feel, I sense. I just know that I know.
So is it more like a feeling or more like a knowing?
It's both. It's it's a it's kind of like there's two magnets and they just connect. It's just it's kind of
No,
like when you're conscious and your unconscious mind when they connect together. That's kind of how that is with me.
This is good. We got a lot of intuitives on the call. Thank you, Miss Sherry.
You're welcome.
Pooja.
Yes.
Same question. I know you said dreams earlier, but is there any other way you feel like you get your intuitive downloads or you receive the information through feelings, thoughts, or visions, or smells, or tastes, or touch?
Yeah, I'm more a vision person. I'm definitely like images come to me. Feeling and visions both are the two ways I navigate my intuition, or those are the, I don't know what you call it, like that's how I receive visions and images and feelings.
Okay. Okay. Samia.
Yeah, for me,
Thank you, Pooja.
You're welcome.
it's sense. I sense things,
Mm-hmm.
I feel, and I envision things as well. Like if I'll talk to someone and they talk about the story, and then I say, okay, this and this and could happen. And normally things happen. But I don't work with that, I guess. I don't use that in my work. Yeah, just keep for myself, and yeah, I don't know how I could use this as well. I don't know.
Well, and that's why I'm asking everybody, because I want everybody to grow really, really confident in their intuitive skills and their intuitive gifts, because that's the only way you'll get better at it. And that's the only way you'll really know how to apply it. Because there comes times when you don't know what to do. And that's when you really just got to get into that intuitive space and just say, okay, somehow I've been kind of walking around without an awareness, but I have to get back to my awareness. Okay. So that's why I need everybody growing really, really confident in their intuition, trusting their intuition. Okay. So here's the last thing that I really want to touch on, a few points that I want to touch on. So as it goes with your intuition, awareness is probably the most important piece. And I know a lot of trust goes into that, a lot of faith goes into that, but you have to stay in an awareness that you notice what you notice. And a lot of people think that I'm a really, really great intuitively, and that's why I'm starting to call myself like a master intuitive, low key. But it's because I constantly am in an awareness that I'm always noticing things, because in my honest opinion, everything is spiritual. Okay, everything is spiritual. And why is everything spiritual? Because everything vibrates on, even at the atom level. I don't care if it's a pot, pan, or a rock. Okay, everything is spiritual, and you can receive messages through all types of things, because everything is spiritual, everything is vibrating. So you are receiving and giving out messages all day long. Okay, so you want to try to stay in an awareness, because then you know, like, oh, I'm talking to somebody, but I feel this. Okay, so this may be an intuitive hit, or I'm talking to somebody and I think this, or I'm talking to somebody and I just saw this sign on a bus drive by. Right? And that may have the answer to something that we need in this conversation. And a lot of the times people feel that I have the best memory, but I stay in an awareness that when I receive something, more than likely is something that I'm gonna need to tell somebody later on. So I always have useful information, because I'm always paying attention, because clearly that's how the universe knows that I'm always paying attention. So they know that I'm great at delivering messages, because something that I would have just seen, I can deliver to somebody 2 weeks later. Okay, so staying in an awareness and being present and paying attention and noticing what you notice is always really, really important as it goes with your intuition. Also, a very strong factor for your intuition is staying in a good mood, keeping yourself grounded, but staying in a great mood and feeling good keeps you connected. A lot of the times when you're in a bad mood, that really kind of shuts a lot of your intuition, and I'm not going to say shuts your intuition off, but it really gets you in a funky place where you're not really staying in awareness, because you're so worried about something, or you're feeling bad about something, or you're feeling funky about something. So you don't really allow yourself to stay in your awareness. So try to stay in a good mood. That is the best place to use your intuition. Get yourself centered, get yourself grounded, receive the messages that you need. Okay? So quickly, I want to talk about ways that you can grow your intuition. You can grow your intuition through meditation. Meditation is really great. Getting yourself centered, opening your mind, in a protected way, but opening your mind and allowing good, positive information to come in and kind of guide you. Okay? So, meditation is great. One thing that I will tell people that really helped me grow my intuition is validation. Validation is really important. That's why I said whenever I'm talking to somebody and something comes to mind, or whenever I'm talking to somebody and I see something, or I notice something, or I feel something, I say it. I express it to them, because in that moment, that could be an important message. In that moment, that could be my intuition telling me something, and I need that validation. The more validation I get, the stronger my intuitive muscles grow. Okay, so validation is really important. So when you feel a hit, if you know that you can somewhat get it validated, you know, you need that. It helps grow your intuitive muscles. Even if you're not talking to somebody, if you get an impulse and it feels like something you should do, do it. Because 9 times out of 10, something is going to come along and validate why you did that. And then you'll know to follow your gut more. Okay, but one thing that I would say really also grew my intuition beyond years of validation. And I used to tell people like, oh, you're right. People say to me all the time when I tell them something, they're like, oh, you're so right. I'm like, I'm always right. It's a gift, because I really kind of grew those clear cognizant muscles. But card readings, if you don't have a deck, I would encourage you to get one. Because card readings really get you out of your own way. Because, okay, if you're thinking like, oh, I can't trust my thoughts, or oh, I can't trust my gut, or if you feel like you can't trust those very divine senses that you have, get out of your own way. Use cards, because due to the law of attraction, more than likely, when you pull that card is going to be right every time. And that will give you a sense of validation. That will help you grow your intuition, because not only did the cards reflect what you were thinking or what you were saying or what you were thinking about this other person, what was already coming to you, that validation really helps you grow your intuition. Like, people have told me that especially when I started doing card readings, people told me that I won't always need them. Okay, people told me that I won't always use cards. And I was like, yeah, I know, because I'm really great on an intuitive level. But I like the card readings because, you know, they make the reading so much fancier. And in a way, it kind of validates that, not only for myself, but for the person I'm giving the reading to. Because when they see it in the cards, I guess it kind of feels more real to them. When they see it in the cards, it kind of feels not like I'm just talking off the top of my head, if that makes sense, because they see it. It's right there in front of them. So card readings really will help you grow your intuition. And guessing games, and when I say guessing games, like, I have a spiritual store that sell crystals in Arkansas, and they have a bag full of numbers, and you guess which number you're going to pull out the bag. And if you guess which number you pull out the bag right, you win a free crystal. So it's a really cute game. But long story short, guessing games, Goddess Isis.
Yes.
What are other ways people can grow their intuition? Because I know you do a lot of intuition development.
Well, the one exercise that I had shared before, but we really didn't kind of follow through on the class. But the one, because you were in on it, you didn't do your work, Jamad.
You know, I was just, can I revisit?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a more confident, I didn't have enough confidence for that class.
Right. But that is the thing. Practice in a safe environment, building that trust. Maybe we can set up something, since a lot of people here, are visual. What I did was opened a group and presented a picture of someone that I had information on, so that I could validate for the people participating in the exercise what you were receiving. And one of the things, the tips that I can give about building your intuition is go with what you receive. Don't try to process it. Don't try to make it make sense for you so much, because that's what our analytical mind starts doing. It's like, oh, well, that doesn't make sense. That wouldn't be that way. We can't pick it all apart. Write down what you're getting and receiving and let it be that. Because remember, sometimes we're trying to receive the information in a way that we want it to come through. It may not necessarily be delivered that way. The cards are good, but It depends if the cards resonate with you. If that's the way you feel, what makes you feel comfortable? Because if it becomes too much of a quote unquote like job, you're not going to be relaxed enough to receive information. Some people are good with crystals. Some people are good with pendulums. I never could use a pendulum.
I hate a pendulum.
You don't hate it, Jamad.
Excuse me to anybody who is a pendulum fan. Excuse me.
You
Pendulums aren't my
don't.
thing.
Okay, I'm going to correct Jamad. We don't hate anything. Hate is a very strong emotional word. We don't use it. You strongly dislike pendulums.
Mm-hmm. Pendulums aren't for me. I would say that.
Right.
But yes, so that's the whole. Now I was just gonna say, so that's the whole. Especially like when we get to talking about crystals
and another thing, reading a lot on that information. That I have a great book that I always give, and people sometimes go, "Well, what is you trying to say about me?" And it's not that. I have this book on my bookshelf and I keep it within arm's reach on my desk in my office. And as a matter of fact, when you start talking about the clairs, I ran to my office and went and got it. It is The Complete Idiot's Guide to Being Psychic. Seriously, it's, I think they might have changed the name over the years because I've had this book, oh God, maybe 10, 15 years. But it's one of those in that series of the
for dummies.
Huh?
Like the series, like for dummies.
Yes, but this book, even though I was very in tune with my gifts and stuff, like I learned a term because sometimes I would be sent to the Bible to receive a message. I don't know the Bible like that, but go figure, there was a term for it. It's called bibliomacy. So, and another thing that I wanted to add that just reminded me about building your intuition, check your belief system. Because for me, like I was brought up in Baptist and Pentecostal Christian churches. There was a lot that I was still holding on to that I no longer really believed in, that was taught. And once I was able to free myself from a lot of dogma that I grew up with, I was able to expand my gifts even more. Because somewhere in my heart, I knew that I was doing good, but I had been taught that I basically was the devil's spawn by being able to communicate with the dead or knowing things. So check what your belief system is, what still resonates with you at this point in your life and what doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Joshua, you were saying something. Did you want to like kind of go with, did you want to kind of talk about that with Goddess Isis?
Talk about
in the comments, you said that speaks volumes. I'm a natural analyzer.
something that I guess with me doing this work and starting to really hone in on what it is, something I've realized is that I take things and I overanalyze them, or I look at them and I try to study and study and study and study to the point that I just miss the message. And it's become overwhelming to the point that sometimes I just let the message go instead of really just trying to meditate and get a clear understanding of it. So when she was speaking, I was like, yes, that speaks volumes, because sometimes you just got to receive and then actually process that message, whatever that may be. And I don't know. I'm still getting clarity on all of it is what I'm pretty much saying.
One thing that I always teach, and what was your name again? I'm sorry.
It's Joshua.
Joshua. Okay, Joshua, this is one thing that I teach. Don't get so caught up in the details that you miss the lesson. I'm like that too. I have a very type A personality, and it's like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, and each step. And Jamad used to get after me too about, my branding and stepping forth with my business. Get out your own way and just do the work. because there comes a point where I mentioned, reading and researching, but at some point you have to apply all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. I
And I
agree.
used to be, I would be the same way. It's like, oh no, well, I need to learn a little bit more. I need to do, and the funny thing about it, and this, I'm not coming from a place of ego, but I knew it was time to take action when I kept reading things, and I was like, well, I could have wrote this. So you see, like you get information overload is what I call it.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's like, okay, now start taking some action on all this that you learned, apply it.
And
I,
that's
I,
one thing I would say about the law of attraction, because the law of attraction is always at work. And that's something I noticed about a lot of entrepreneurs. Like they get into this flow of, I don't know enough. I have to learn. I have to learn. I have to learn. And it just seemed like they have so much. And I will say this, they have attracted so much unnecessary information that they don't even know where to start, because they know this and they know that. And and it's like, they fell into that law of attraction flow of just learning, and it's like they never get to apply it because they have to learn something else and learn something else. Which
Right,
that's a
and you know
hard
what the
thing.
bottom line to that is fear.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a hard thing to break for a lot of entrepreneurs, especially like that learning. So, some entrepreneurs, they are addicted to going to webinars. They'll be like, hey, what are you doing? Let's work on this. It's like, oh, I got a webinar tonight. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah,
Girl, what more can you learn?
because you know what people often miss too, and I had this discussion with my oldest son about him moving forward in his career. I said, we're always taught and reminded about the fear of failure, and we think that most of the time is the block. But you know what? There's also the fear of success.
Ain't that it?
Because what, and excuse my French, but what if the shit really happens? What if it really works out? What am I going to do then? So the fear of success will block us just as well as the fear of failure.
I agree. I really appreciate you, Goddess, because tonight is now coming to a close, everybody. I'm glad y'all
Yes, and
rolled with me for
Jamad
this 2
knows he can
hours.
get me started talking, and one thing I can do is talk, y'all.
One thing we all can do.
Right.
You fit in right with the rest of us, because I'm clearly trying to understand why these classes are always 2 hours. I ain't never saw why. It don't make sense to me, but they do be long.
Because there is so much to, I mean, oh my God, it's just so
And it
much.
just seemed like we don't even touch half of it. But I do want to
Right.
say, I did kind of say earlier about you people, people that are addicted to learning and constantly going to webinars. Keep coming to these classes, though. Keep coming to this webinar. This is a good one to come to. Okay. Oh, Pooja, come on. I want y'all to stop chat. I'm gonna start disabling this chat box, so y'all have to get on the mic.
Well, that's all I had to say though. I mean, I know what the fear of success is like because I I've always had that. I always had that thing of I know it's gonna work. It's the funny thing is, I don't doubt that my dreams will come true. In fact, I know they're gonna come true, and the issue is how fast. So when I'm afraid of them coming too fast, almost, you know,
Wow.
because they're so big.
Yeah, because if your success slaps you in the face all at once, it's like, okay, now where do I take it? Have we actually thought past that process of, okay, what am I going to do with all that success? And then what do I do next?
Yeah, all of that is very
Yeah,
scary.
yeah. But I'm
What would
willing
you?
to try it out. I don't know about y'all,
Now,
but
I
look.
not said I'm willing to have Trump money. Okay.
Okay, look, I have that faith that I can handle it. Trust me. I know how to stay humble.
Trump deeds.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if I
But
mess up, honey, the universe will help me out and forgive me.
but I did want to say, Pooja, that's probably something you want to like. So the exercise I gave it earlier about what does my heart say, that's something that you may want to try with that fear
I
of
loved it.
success.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
Now I'm
So
on.
Yeah, I would say that you probably were okay. So because I wanted to ask you, I was like, okay, but why? Why do you have a fear of big things coming too fast? And then go with what your mind says because your ego must be validated a lot of the time, or it feels, or
I think it's
it
the
becomes
imposter syndrome and all that stuff, and then being called
okay.
out.
But then, what does your
There's a
heart
lot.
say?
But my heart says you are meant for greater, and you are meant to help heal the planet. So you just need to get over it.
Right. And why do we have that belief system that we're, like there has to be a little part in us that we are not worthy of it, or it will make us not be humble. And I just want to share this. My husband told me this a few years ago, and I was having real issues with charging for my services and this and that. And he was like, well, I understand and I get it, boo. You trying to stay humble. He said, but you're going to humble yourself right on out of a paycheck and right on out of your blessings.
I tell a lot of people
So
that. I think it's a Jamaadism. You're going to humble yourself out of check.
right, right, because but that has to go. I went inside myself and said, well, where did that belief come from? And I can remember sitting in church and, oh, money is the root of all evil. If you get too much money, you're going to forget about God. And, no, I'm not, honey. I'm jumping and praising. So I had to let go of that belief system. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes we got to go within and check, what do we believe? What have we been
Well,
taught that no longer
yeah.
serves us?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and as I get deeper and deeper into it, and I have had these kind of sessions with people, and what always comes up is the guilt of like
Mm-hmm.
family, the guilt of like because my parents haven't, so just my immediate family, like my parents haven't had the life exactly that they wanted. I mean, they were able to come here to the States and from India, and they definitely like, you know, had a success in the sense of like the monetary success and
Mm-hmm.
all the you know superficially see. But when I think of their hearts and what their like souls and their heart and soul wanted, they didn't get fulfillment.
Right. Because what does success mean to them? What does it mean to each of us? It's
Right.
not just monetary things.
Right. So I think my sister and I saw that, and we made that adjustment that it really should be that you're fulfilled from your heart desire. Your heart desire is what matters more. And
Right.
then doing that,
What brings you passion?
right. And then I went down that path of passion and poverty.
Right. Right, because we got to find a way to harmonize, what we have. Because
But
at the same time, you've been evolving and becoming your spirit and soul evolved. So the desires you had then maybe have changed because of your belief system changing and what knowledge you've gained along the way.
right. And now I think I'm at the
You
point where
just
I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I'm at the point where it's like, wait a minute, I can serve and and still be in a place where I can charge money and I don't feel guilty.
exactly
All of that.
because
Yeah.
what is your self-worth? That's what the realization I came to.
Mhm. Totally.
Because when you're being of service like this, you get so many people who are like, oh my God, that's great, tell me more. But then when you say, okay, you can book a session because this is what I do, then all of a sudden there's this issue.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
I've let go of the guilt of that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because I think we, especially a lot of us in doing being of service as we are, I think a lot of us has experienced that. That's why I'm glad I learned how to close a sale. That is
Yep.
so that is so important. I really learned to close a sale and make sure that if I'm gonna have a conversation with you, and let me tell y'all, so I closed the sale recently, and during that call, I really asked my intuition. I'm like, okay, is this the conversation going to end in a sale? And my intuition said, yeah. And I was like, okay. And when it ended with a sale, I knew that I'm gonna start asking my intuition every time I get on these phones or these calls and things like that. Just not to say that
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay aware of how I utilize my time, but I think it's just to have better money guidance as it goes
Yeah.
with making a little coin.
But
I can kind of tell.
Go ahead, Pooja. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, you're asking that question before like the conversation's finished, and I'm kind of new to the like coaching side of things, but I swear I knew exactly who would sign and who wouldn't before.
Mm-hmm.
Just the intuition. I knew.
I
I
was
was
just gonna
like,
say, because is that an end? Because that's the thing, though. Because it's like it. So if it's an intuitive thing, I'm like, yeah, that's where to go. But like a lot of, especially like from the prosperous coach, it's like, well, you just can't just rule in and out like who can like afford your services or who you think will buy your services. You know?
right, right. But I sent the same message to everybody, but I just knew who would continue and who wouldn't. I just kind of knew from like the initial session. Like, you do a free session and then you kind of know like this person is looking to go further or not.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And then, too, I learned this practice from somebody, I don't remember who I was watching, but about setting your intentions and putting it out there. So we're going back to, finish up with the whole law of attraction thing. But asking for it, we have to be very specific in what we want when we're manifesting, because the universe needs to know what we want. We can't be confused. So this practice was taking a sheet of paper and writing down, like, what is your ideal client? What does your ideal client look like to you? Be very clear about that.
mm-hmm.
And she said that the easiest way to start was to write down those things that you did not want in a client. Clients who did not respect you, clients who could not afford you, clients who, just were very skeptical, things that you didn't want to deal with in a client. Write those down, and then it was easier to transition the statement of what your ideal client looks like. So now I just kind of manifest my ideal spiritual clients. And so I know what all of that encompasses for me. So that's the affirmation that I use. I have an abundance of ideal spiritual clients. So I don't know if somebody can use that, if it's helpful.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I really appreciate y'all. Any more? Anything?
Can't do another half hour, Jamad?
Well, Jamad, I'm going to give this very, it's not ego-based, but I'm going to tell you, I wrote a book. It's out there. It's on Amazon.
Wait, Goddess. Hold on, Goddess. I want to. You need to have your own floor in just a second. But anybody else have anything they want to say about the class tonight before we kind of transition?
It was great as always. It was awesome.
Thank you, Pooja. Pooja, I don't think you missed a class, have you? I think you missed one.
I missed like a vortex party or something, but
yeah.
It was good. Thank you. Thank everyone.
Thank you, Miss Sherry. I really appreciate you coming and being a part, because everybody else here pretty much knows each other. So I'm glad you integrating into our.
Yes, nice to meet you.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. And there goes somebody typing. I done told y'all to utilize these mics because the people can't read your chats from the replay. Joshua says, because he didn't turn on his mic, so I'm just going to read. He says, I enjoyed it. Thank y'all. And also he said, self-worth equals net worth. Okay.
Yes.
So I do want to give our special guest and expert on intuitive development, psychic medium goddess Isis, Tell the people how to connect with you and all of that jazz. And I'm going to be sure to include it like under the video and things like that.
Oh, okay. You can find me on Facebook. That's the easiest way, at Psychic Medium Goddess Isis. And Goddess Isis is spelled GOD_S_ISIS. And I also am a psychic medium. I'm a Reiki master teacher. I am also an intuitive transition tutor and now a published author. I just published, like 2 weeks ago, my book on Amazon. It's a ebook right now, but it is a self-discovery workbook. So a lot of the things you've been hearing me bring forth and talk about going inside and questioning yourself and your belief systems, that's kind of what this workbook does for us. There's 44 lessons in it, 44 for the number of angels, being guided by angels. And I think it's really a helpful tool that anybody can use. So the title of the book is Things to Make You Go, and have a little talk with yourself. So you can get excerpts of it there on Amazon, and you can type in the title or Patricia Cashel Abron as is popping up on our screen here. Just omit the Goddess Isis there. But I would appreciate sharing the book and the link and purchases and some feedback.
I'll include that in the description as well.
Thank you, Jamad.
You're the best. No, I appreciate you for coming through for the people. And
thank you for inviting me.
Special. I don't know what I would have did without you, to be honest. Because I was sitting here like, oh shit, I'm teaching this class. I was like, I want to see how this ice is available. Then I can have somebody that's working intuition all day long.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Isis.
Oh, thank you.
Really incredible.
Okay, with that being said, I really want to appreciate all you manifestors for joining me today for today's class on the law of attraction and intuition. Like, this was really a very important one for me. I do want to say next week I will be doing the life design workshop, which is really about getting into your intentions of creating a new reality for yourself in 2018. So that will be happening next Tuesday at 8 Eastern time. Like, usually the classes are at 9 Eastern time, but this one will be at 8 Eastern time, the life design workshop, and that's a free workshop. It will be clearly via Zoom, and you can get more information about that through my Facebook page, my Facebook business page, Jamai Kelly, the Empowerment Coach. So the life design workshop will be the last class for this year. And that's not a class, like, that is very hands-on. We're going to get into creating our realities for 2018, and that will be next week. So as I was saying, that will be the last class I teach for this year, and then we will be picking up next year with the law of attraction classes. And I think the first class of next year is the law of attraction and health. I think, yes, your law of attraction, the law of attraction and your health, or being healthy and well-being. And then I think the class after that is the law of attraction and choosing a career or something like that. And then the last class will be the law of attraction and spirituality. So those are future classes coming up. If you watch this, be sure to join our Facebook group on Facebook. The Facebook group is called Flowing Abundance. You can go to facebook.com/groups/Flowing Abundance, all one word, to join that group. Anyway, much love to you all. I'm so pleased that I was joined by so many people tonight. I think this was probably one of the larger classes we've had, and I'm so glad I had the wonderful, amazing Goddess Isis, along with all my other master teacher friends and spiritual coaches, and all of you. I really appreciate how you all come out and make these classes such a big success and so detailed and so wonderful. But if that is all I have, I'm going to say good night to everyone watching this replay.
Good night.
Many